Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's certainly a privilege to have an opportunity to speak before this august group, as well as before the students here at the Archbishop Carroll High School. Certainly, I think the students are already learning something about our ability in Congress to tell time. It's remarkable. I assure you that I will add to the confusion, and my 5 minutes will not be measured in real human time. House members have the ability to restrain themselves in a way that senators have not learned so well. So I'm just excited to be in good company with all of us who are going to run over our 5 minutes, and we do apologize in advance, even though we will do it anyways. Mr. Chairman, thank you for calling this very important hearing on an issue that I believe is critical to combating poverty, to unleashing our economy, and ensuring that students across the nation have an opportunity to fulfill their God-given abilities. And for that conversation to start at the nation's capital, where we have students benefiting from the Opportunity Scholarship, it just seems appropriate that the generation to come will be better because of the DC OSP Opportunity Scholarship. I'd also want to thank Archbishop Carroll High School, along with the president, the board of directors, the parents, the teachers, and of course the students here for hosting us on their amazing campus. I do want to extend a unique congratulations, Mr. Chairman, to the student government president here, who did a fabulous job in his remarks this morning, Mr. Jordan Winston. I was once a student government president at a high school myself. I would say to all the students, and particularly to Mr. Winston, all things are truly possible in America. I'm reminded very much of the success of this young man, and I look around and I think to myself that the future is better because the next generation is smarter than the current generation. And so I'm excited about that. Unfortunately, you'll hear today a lot of chat about Democrats and Republicans. I honestly will tell you, although I am certainly a Republican, that I think the focus on R's and D's, blue and red, is the wrong focus. The focus has to be on the kids. This is not a political conversation. There is no question the political tentacles in the conversation around education. But part of the problem is we continue to have the conversation about R's and D's. What we need to have, what we must have, is a conversation about the future of our children, all of our kids. And the question I ask myself very often is, how do we see the manifestation of Proverbs 22:6? How do we train up children in a way that they should go, and when they're older, they benefit from that solid foundation? I hope we hear a lot of conversations about that today. I hope that as you hear from the kids, the parents, and others who will testify, that you will hear stories that are truly journeys that started on a rough road, journeys that started in little houses and trailers and small apartments, journeys that started very much like my journey, having grown up in a single-parent household, living in real poverty, and another place that has had its challenges and played out in the news in North Charleston, South Carolina, where Mr. Walter Scott was shot. I'll tell you that when we get serious about the issue of education, we get serious about unleashing human potential. One of my friends, Trey Gowdy, said that the closest thing to magic in America is education. I'm a product of public schools. I love, and appreciate good public schools. But I refuse to allow any child anywhere in this nation trapped in the wrong zip code in an underperforming school to continue to have to go to a school that is inconsistent with the future of that child. And so that's why we find ourselves here today. Growing up in poverty was a very difficult time for me. I was one of those kids that yearned for a male role model, for guidance, for structure, for discipline. And so I started drifting. And all drifting seems to go in the wrong direction. And by the time I was a freshman in high school, I was flunking out of high school. I may be one of the few United States senators to ever fail out of high school. I don't recommend that, by the way. I failed world geography. I know I'm the only one that ever failed civics, the study of politics. And then I went to the U.S. Senate and realized I had plenty of company in that area. You can talk back about yourself. I'll give y'all time to digest that healing. It's the best I have, so it won't get any better than that. But I also went on to fail Spanish and English. When you fail Spanish and English, no one calls you bilingual. They all call you bi-ignorant, because you can't speak in any language. And that's where I found my unhappy self. I had the good fortune of a mother who believed in the power of education, a mother who believed in the power of hope, a mother who believed in the power of the future. And she took me and encouraged me in tangible ways. I'll talk about that next time. And it turned out to my benefit. And over the next 3 years, I was able to catch up with my class, and graduate on time, go to college. Why are these things so important? Why are the statistics that we've heard this morning so powerful and so important? I want to reframe some of the statistics and talk about what they mean in real life as adults. Since 2004, 6,000 students have come through the OSP program. 90+% of those students graduated on time. 98%, just last year, 98% of the OSP students went on to a 2-year or 4-year degree. 93% just in the last 2 years graduated on time versus 58% in other DC public schools. These are statistics for families who have an income under $21,000 on average. We're talking about the difference between spending around $20,000 for the normal public schools here in DC versus spending about $8,500 for a DC Opportunity Scholarship. So in other words, for 40 cents on the dollar, you don't get a 58% graduation rate. You get a 93% graduation rate. You get 98% of those students going on to a 2-year or 4-year institution. And how does that translate for a life? Why are these statistics so important for the students and their parents? Well, it's because a high school dropout, if we think about the impact of education, especially on people of color, half of African American males like me do not finish high school in 4 years. Well, for those students who don't graduate from high school, their income annually is around $19,000. 19,000. For those students who continue on and graduate from high school, their income is around $28,000. For those students who go on to get an advanced degree, a bachelor's degree, the income is around $52,000. How does that translate into employment? Well, for people of color, the persistent unemployment rate in aggregate is around 10.5%. For African Americans with a college degree, it's less than half. Poverty rate, 27% people of color, 15% for all Americans. Significantly lower for African Americans, Hispanics with a college degree. You see, for me, the reason why I sponsored and crafted the Choice Act, and I thank Congressman Rakita for taking up the legislation, is because I know that hope begins. Hope begins. Strong family structure. Hope begins in a faith-filled environment, and hope begins in the hearts and the minds of students who are properly equipped with education. I hope that as we have this debate about how to use public dollars and sometimes private institutions, that we don't forget that the Pell Grant, that students who graduate from high school receive. Students who don't graduate from high school don't benefit from the Pell Grant. So we take the Pell Grant, public dollars, to private colleges every single day. I took my Pell Grant along with a small football scholarship, not being small, to a school, a private school, private Christian school. It allowed me to get an amazing education. I'm passionate about this issue. I'm passionate about this issue because I've seen what it's done for my family. I've seen what it's done for myself. I've seen what it's done for my community. And now that I'm at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, Mr. Chairman, I'll close. I can't tell time either. I apologize. I didn't come up with this quote, but I do think the quote is absolutely perfect. When parents have better choices, their kids have a better chance. Education really is today a major component of the American dream. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.